He is one of the most recognized figures in modern history. A stern, bearded face, beneath a top hat, pointing a finger directly at the viewer, with an unmistakable demand. For over a century, Uncle Sam has stood as the ultimate symbol of American statehood and military power. Yet behind this iconic caricature lies a strange historical puzzle. According to national legend, the world's most famous personification of government wasn't a statesman or a general at all, but a 19th century meatpacker from upstate New York. But as historians dig deeper into the written record, a curious question emerges. Was there ever a real Uncle Sam? Or is the story behind America's national symbol a well-crafted myth? To understand the legend, we have to travel back to the War of 1812, a time when a young United States was struggling to supply and feed its growing armed forces. In the town of Troy, New York, lived a meatpacker named Samuel Wilson. As the conflict intensified, Wilson secured a vital contract to supply rations to American troops, working with a government contractor named Elbert Anderson. Every barrel of beef and pork that left Wilson's packing facility was stamped with two sets of initials, E.A.U.S. The first stood for Elbert Anderson, and the second was simple shorthand for the United States. But locally, Samuel Wilson was a familiar and well-liked figure, so much so that workers in Troy began joking among themselves that US's actually stood for Uncle Sam. Before long, that dockside joke traveled to the front lines. Soldiers receiving the rations helped bring the term into common use, referring to their federal supplies, and eventually, the nation itself, as Uncle Sam. For years, the story remained a piece of spoken folklore. It wasn't until 1830 that the tale of Samuel Wilson was first popularized in print, appearing in an article in the New York Gazette. Over the following century, that meatpacker from Troy became permanently tethered to American identity. The connection grew so deeply entrenched that in 1961, the United States Congress passed an official resolution. On the public record, lawmakers formally acknowledged Samuel Wilson as the progenitor of America's national symbol of Uncle Sam. It seemed the case was closed, but historical truth is rarely so neat. Despite the congressional act, many modern researchers doubt the veracity of the Samuel Wilson tale. When historians began examining primary sources from the period, inconsistencies appeared in the timeline. Most notably, historian Donald R. Hickey uncovered a reference to Uncle Sam in the diary of a U.S. Navy midshipman dating back to 1810, 2 full years before the War of 1812 even began. This suggests that the phrase may have predated Samuel Wilson's supply contracts entirely. Furthermore, in 1813, a newspaper in Wilson's own hometown of Troy published an article referencing the term Uncle Sam. Yet, remarkably, it made no mention of Wilson or his beef barrels. Instead, the newspaper reported that the name was simply a playful take on the U.S.'s initials, emblazoned on military wagons and government supplies. Whether Samuel Wilson inspired the nickname or merely gave a human face to an existing soldier's joke, the ambiguity remains inscribed in the historical record. Whatever its true origins, by the years following the War of 1812, the nickname Uncle Sam was firmly entrenched in the American vernacular, but he did not yet have a face. The very first drawings of Uncle Sam began appearing in the 1830s, but it took several decades for his trademark look to emerge. In the 1870s, Harper's Weekly cartoonist Thomas Nast popularized the visual aesthetic we recognize today. A whiskered face, a tall top hat, and red and white striped pants. The final, definitive step in the character's transition into an international icon occurred in 1916. An artist named James Montgomery Flagg, drawing for a periodical called Leslie's Illustrated Weekly newspaper, created a new cartoon of Uncle Sam, using his own face as the model. Featuring a goated Uncle Sam pointing his finger straight at the viewer, flag's illustration was soon adapted into a now famous World War I recruitment poster, accompanied by 5 legendary words, "I want you for us, Army." Today, Uncle Sam is recognized on every continent, an emblem of American authority born from either a meatpacker's barrel, a soldier's quip, or perhaps a mixture of both. History shows us that symbols often outgrow their creators, leaving behind a legacy far more powerful than the facts of their origin. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden origins of historical symbols, subscribe to the channel and join us next week as we explore the archives of our past.